Hello and welcome. This is the personal introduction of myself for my organizational leadership course and my capstone. And this is a discussion more about me and my leadership journey and what I've learned along the way while going through life, and specifically through what I've learned in the organizational leadership program. My name is Joseph Hargrave. I am 35 years old. I was born and raised in Texas, and I love it here. And I even left and came back, and this is where I want to be. I love Texas. I am married now for about 14 years to my wife Kim, and we have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. And I've had many different opportunities for leadership in the career fields that I've chosen, and the things that I've learned have been very influential to the person I've become. I started out in construction when I was young and did that for a long time. I went on a mission for 2 years for my church. As a missionary, I learned Spanish and learned to interact with people. And when I got back, I got into a retail position, and shortly thereafter became a facility maintenance person where I maintained stores that were retail. After that, I became an emergency dispatcher and didn't really like where I was going with my life, so I decided to join the Coast Guard. In the meantime, while I was doing all of those jobs, I was a volunteer firefighter for a local fire department here in my area, and that was very influential for the people that I met and for my leadership opportunities that I had there. I joined the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard was great. It's wonderful. I love it. I encourage everyone that would like to join the military to look at it as a viable option. The problem was that the Coast Guard did not like me. I got severe seasickness to the point where I had to be discharged. It was disappointing, but lessons learned, and hindsight's 2020, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I probably would have stayed in the Coast Guard. When I got discharged from the Coast Guard, I got honorable discharge, and I came back to Texas, and I got a job driving a truck, and I joined the Air Force Reserves. So basically I had a full-time job in the civilian world, and I had a part-time job in the military, even though it is much more full-time than you would think it is. As I drove a truck, it was good. I got promoted to a regional manager while I was there, and it was really fun. It was a very high stress, high tempo type job. I was a regional manager for the night fueling operations for this company, and it was just very busy all the time. When the guys are working, you're working. So I would work most of the day with the guys, getting everything, make sure everything's ready to go for them to work at night, and then I'd have to be available all night for things that came up, like flat tires, mechanical issues, or any other issues that came up with personnel, because I had to go backfill in case they didn't show up. It was good for a while, and I just got worn out. I got a job as a federal employee working on airplanes, and it was a great opportunity, and I jumped on it, and it was much less stress. It would provide an opportunity for me to do more schooling, and I got that job at Lackland. And after I did that for a few years, I picked up a job over at Randolph, where I then worked there for a few years, and then got promoted to a GS job working as a aircraft maintenance instructor. And I've had several leadership positions throughout most of those jobs. The hobbies that I really enjoy are kayak fishing. I enjoy fishing all the time in general, but kayak fishing is kind of a new development, and I've really taken a liking to that. I do Spartan races with a pretty good friend of mine. I love working on cars, motorcycles. I enjoy mountain biking and spending time with friends and family. Some of the leadership positions that I've been able to have really developed me in becoming a better leader and overall becoming a better person. In the church, I had several leadership positions, and they were very informal in nature, and it really afforded me the opportunity to learn how to interact with people. As a volunteer firefighter, you get a lot of experience with a lot of different personalities, and you deal with people all the time, and you deal with people at their worst. And it was an experience that is unforgettable, and at many times I miss it, and I wish I could go back to that. But life has got me pretty busy right now, so I'll take a break for that from a while. While I was a volunteer firefighter, I did get the opportunity to serve as a lieutenant while I was there, and that really helped me develop a lot of leadership skills and understanding how to deal with people in a leadership role. Another big one was, like I discussed, was the regional manager for this trucking company with this fueling company. And what was interesting about this company is it was all over the state of Texas. So I had guys from Midland, Odessa to Houston, up to Dallas, and down in the valley. So you had to get creative with the way that you were able to interact with people, because a lot of the times it wasn't face to face. It was either text messages, phone calls, video messages. So you had to get creative on how to influence them and be part of that, be there with them without being there. Another one that was very good and very specific is joining the military in general. The military's structure is very designed to put you in leadership positions as you promote and progress in your career. And currently I'm serving as a E7, which is a Master Sergeant in the Air Force Reserves. And some people say rank has its privileges, and I like to say rank has its problems and responsibilities. And being a Master Sergeant is a lot of fun. It's challenging. It's difficult to deal with people, and when I say difficult to deal with people, it's difficult to deal with all the different aspects that's involved with people that are in the military. And not only in the military, but in the reserves, because they have a lot of things that go on in their civilian lives that can affect their military career. And so it's been a learning experience throughout. Organizational leadership specifically has helped me develop more empathy for other situations and issues that they have, and helping me understand how to change my perspective before I jump to a conclusion. And another thing that has really helped me was learning more about data to quantify progress. And I think that data is really, really important, and I've really enjoyed data-driven decision making, as it helped me formulate how to put data that I can gather all the time into charts and graphs and ways to look at it to understand it. Data-driven decision making is also been interesting to me, because the ways that you can acquire data and basically quantify people's behaviors and actions. So that's intriguing to me, because it's, why do people do what they do? And why do they act the way that they act? And I think it's really interesting to see that, because it also gets into an ethics portion, which I really do enjoy the ethics part of it as well, because ethics is a whole process of people understanding understanding how people view the world from the experiences that they've had. And that's what's been really interesting to me about organizational leadership in these classes that I've taken. The case studies were probably my favorite part of ethics. I had the Ford Pinto story and the Nissan case study. And what I found intriguing was my ability to get passionate while reading, thinking that, man, this is the way it is. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is what my thought is. This is not ethical, or this is ethical, or either way. I just felt myself getting very passionate while I was reading. And as I went through the class and started learning and started analyzing and breaking it apart in the different pieces, I started to realize that there's definitely many different aspects and viewpoints and perspectives of both of these case studies, and trying to understand where each party was coming from was really interesting, because it made me second guess those things that I was passionate about, and made me understand that there's a much bigger picture at play, and I need to be aware of all the aspects of the scenario and the situation before passing judgment. As a learner, the things and challenges that I faced and continue to face, the biggest thing is time management. That by far is the most difficult thing. But once you get it, and as long as you have good support, it's manageable. It's doable. Most of my issues are just normal life. My wife, my children, church, work, military friends, family. It's always something's going to come up, something always going to try to get in the way. and it's not always feasible to get everything done at the same time. And sometimes things would get pushed or moved and because of things that happen. But having good support structure at home and being able to make schooling a priority and making these classes a priority was crucial, and that is what has really driven me to accomplish the things that I have. Another challenge I have is reviewing my own work. I have a tendency to rush, and when I have a tendency to rush, I miss very simple things. Not necessarily spelling, because Outlook helps, or Word helps me fix that very quickly. The issues I mainly have is I miss that I put the wrong word in. I put they instead of that, and it's not that, and Word usually doesn't catch that. So it's going in there and making sure that I'm reading that and having someone else review my work to make sure I'm doing it correctly. The biggest thing that I would request for an instructor for me is just to give me an A. Just right now, let's just be done with this and go off this video submission and we'll be good to go, right? I wish it was that easy, but I know I've got a lot of work to do, and this is just the first step in that process. My biggest thing that would help me is just being prompt. Promptness is really important to me. I get anxious when I feel like I have to wait too long, even though honestly, most of the time it's just me getting anxious. It's not due to any other issue. Everyone in the organizational leadership program and all the courses I've taken, everyone's been prompt and direct, and that's really helped me succeed in this course. And the other thing is a good roadmap, and I think you've done that and provided that. And the things that I've read, I understand the syllabus, I like structure, I understand my deadlines, I understand how I need to get things done. Everything all in all, it seems pretty straightforward and simple. I just need to get after it and get it done. But that's a basic introduction of who I am and the struggles that I have and the things that I've learned. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about me. And I look forward to completing this course and graduating. Thanks.